Hello viewers, welcome back to my video series, Why I'm Left the Left, or Leaving the Left. This is part 2 of looking at some of the points and arguments of disagreement that people have on the internet about myself and other breadtubers, as it is termed. Basically, people are talking shit online and being two-faced and fake, so I'm here to give them a little bit of their own medicine. So yeah, let's try that on for It's a response to section 2 of this video from Rob's Media. I want to make it clear that this video is not really about Rob's Media, it's about the ideas Rob's Media is expressing, because a lot of people seem to agree with them, so it's about all of them together. Rob isn't the source, he is merely the messenger. Alright, let's go!
Leading us to our next point. 2. They weaponize their audience. I've seen many instances of breadtubers using their audience as either a sword or a shield.
Yeah, that's where other breadtubers get it wrong, because they use the audience as a sword or a shield instead of both, and using both is way smarter of a build. It makes the game way easier.
For instance, they'll use them as a suitable defense against opposition, or to attack and harass those they deem irredeemable.
Okay, so the charge here is that these people are weaponizing their audiences. Let's see how he sort of supports that idea.
My favorite example of the former is definitely the Balenciaga scandal, which I went over more in detail in my denims video. Basically, this fashion company posted some sus marketing photos, one showcasing a document relating to a CP court case, and others showing little girls holding teddy bears that have bondage on. YouTuber Shoeonhead was pretty much the figurehead of this controversy, calling out Balenciaga's actions and giving updates. Breadtubers that she deemed friends, being Xander Hall, Demon Mama, and Denims, called her out for this with very bizarre reasonings.
Shoeonhead was betrayed by Xander Hall. Shoeonhead was betrayed by Xander Hall, Demon Mama, and
They all tried downplaying the controversy, while at the same time insisting it would negatively affect the LGBTQ community. This had nothing to do with queer people, yet they for some reason insisted that this will give conservatives fodder to spread hate. They don't realize that they're the ones giving them fodder by even implying gay people have something to do with this.
Okay, well, first thing to point out here is that this controversy did give conservatives fodder to spread hate, because anytime pedophilia is brought up in any context, conservatives, the ones that do this sort of thing, find a way to link it to trans people, because that's part of their discrimination against trans people, is painting them as pedophiles. Here is a right-wing influencer, Ben Shapiro, linking the Balenciaga scandal to pride parades. And here is Tucker Carlson linking the scandal to transgender healthcare, which he refers to as the mutilation of children.
But it's not just the sexual mutilation of children in hospitals. This is part of a larger trend, and the trend is this: adults crossing the line, and it has always been a bright line, into deep involvement with the sexuality of children.
So it didn't have nothing to do with queer people, because the controversy was picked up by right-wing accounts to make it about queer people. Now, do I think Shoeonhead did that? No, I don't, and I think a lot of people seized on her as an example of someone doing that, when in what she actually wrote in this post, she just shared the thing about Balenciaga. She made a video about this and showed a bunch of posts of people doing that, just kind of making these claims and accusations without substantiating them. This did bother me a little bit, because a lot of bigotry spawned from this situation. But instead of focusing on that, the conversation was immediately turned to Shoeonhead, even though she just kind of shared the story. And then the conversation turned to how the conversation was turned to Shoeonhead, and how people were unprompted bringing up queer people when talking about pedophilia, which is a problem, right? We got to start by establishing the context as to how and why stories like this can be weaponized, and it undermines that point if you pick the wrong target.
Basically, these people were waiting for a good opportunity to shit on Shoeonhead, as I don't like the fact that she goes after both sides in videos.
Kind of just speculating there as to why they did it, you know? Maybe they do dislike that she represents both sides in videos, but can we say for sure that that's the reason they did it, or that's the only reason they did it? No, I don't think we can. This is a mistake I made in the past, ascribing intent to things that you can't necessarily prove. It's just kind of cynical. It relays a certain amount of bias, which again, we're all biased, you know. Rob, I think, based on a few things he said, he's a little biased, and, you know, hopefully me bringing that up will help somehow, I don't know.
They use their audiences, which are filled with lots of queer people, to attack someone else by manipulating them into thinking the scandal will negatively affect them in any way.
I think what he's actually saying here is just that he disagrees with their characterization of her post. He thinks they're wrong, and it's fine to disagree with someone, but if audiences take action based on those disagreements, I don't think that's the same thing as audience weaponization, you know? There has to be some intent there.
Vosh would use a similar tactic earlier this year, when his special folder got leaked live on stream.
You can see this is an example of the kind of structure that I'm referring to.
If you somehow don't know
that edit, oh fuck, that was a great cut.
If you somehow don't know what he had on there, it was AI generated images involving horses and little girls, doing some pretty disgusting things. When Ethan Klein and other YouTubers called him out for being a lolly enjoyer, he clapped back with this.
I like the part where he said this is a pedophile community. Yeah, did he say that with regards to there being a lot of transgenders here? Is that what he meant? Curious.
Yeah, this is awful. This is literally weaponizing having a trans audience to defend yourself from the fact that you had drawn child porn on your computer. This is really fucking bad. Unironically doing the thing, you know?
It's not a pedo community because trans people are part of it. It's because parts of your audience are defending the fact that you're sexually attracted to kids.
Yeah, no, Rob, cook, brother.
Vosh can make the excuse that he's debate-brained all he wants, but that folder and the loads of other evidence that he's into lolly proves that wrong. It's just gross how he automatically thinks an attack on his defenders is an overall attack on trans people.
Yeah, I agree. It's gross. Don't do shit like that. That's my conclusion. So second example of audience weaponization, I think it supports the assertion.
One of those defenders was Keffels, who in my opinion is way worse than Vosh.
Breaking, Rob's Media thinks Keffels is worse than Vosh. More at 11. Log off, log off, log off, please log off, please log off, please log off.
It would take too long to cover all the awful things she's done, so I'll summarize it as this. She kept changing the story about her doxing, lied about which website doxed her for more clout, raised $100,000 for a supposed legal case, and then wasted the money on vacation and streaming gear, knew about the grooming that went on in her Discord server, admitted to grooming minors, and promoted a site that sells homemade drugs to minors that has a lolly on the packaging. When Mudahar released his video showcasing the evidence for all of this, Keffels used the ultimate trump card, transphobia. She spread this lie to her audience, stating that Muda used the wrong pronouns in the announcement tweet, and that the art in the thumbnail was transphobic.
First thing I want to point out here is that I don't think she used the transphobia as a trump card. This tweet brings it up, and the first thing she does is acknowledges that people have criticisms and that she's not above being critiqued. As for whether or not the thumbnail art is transphobic, the argument people made against the idea that this thumbnail was transphobic was that the artist draws everyone like this, or, you know, ugly in a fucked up kind of way. Be that as it may, drawing people ugly or like fucked up looking manifests in different ways. It can manifest in exaggerating certain features, and those features can create caricature. You can imagine someone drawing a picture of someone trying to make them look ugly, and in that ugliness, making them into a racist caricature, let's say. And so one way I think this could be transphobic, not even necessarily intentionally, is drawing someone ugly by masculinizing their face, which is a very common way for transphobes to essentially try to paint trans women as men in disguise. Do I think the artist did that intentionally? You know, I personally don't. I have no reason to believe that based on the history of the works of art he's done. But the transphobia in question here is more of a broader structure of types of things that happen. And I think that's a conversation worth having. Is it a conversation that needs to be had before addressing all the like serious shit that this person did? Probably not. Like, you could see how this comes off here. But again, in this very tweet, she's not using it as a trump card, right? She's saying yes, and also this other thing is happening at the same time. And I don't know, a lot of this kind of skepticism around ideas like transphobia stems from the fact that like a lot of people just don't see how this type of stuff is commonly weaponized against trans people. And so yeah, there's some examples for you, so that's maybe will add to the understanding, I don't know.
Late last year, Jake Doolittle released a hit piece of sorts on Ethan Klein, basically accusing him of faking a health scare for money. In reality, Ethan did legit think he had lupus, and was very open about it on stream. Jake did this under the guise of defending those in his audience who have chronic illnesses like himself. If he made things personal like that, he knew his audience would be more willing to go after Ethan and ruin his career in some way.
Oh, this one's super cynical, dude. He's just saying the only reason this guy would make something personal or connected to a personal story is because it would enrage his viewers further to get someone to cancel someone. But all that translates to is you can't talk about your own personal story. Because if you do, that's just you trying to get everybody riled up and trying to gain sympathy. And that's fucked up, man. That's obviously quite silly.
This didn't end up happening, which I'll bring up later. But basically, Jake was once again using his Lyme disease to benefit himself financially.
Yeah, using his Lyme disease to benefit himself financially. I mean, talking about something and then making money off of whatever you're talking about is what you do on YouTube. If that thing you're talking about happens to be the fact that you have Lyme disease, it seems extremely weird and twisted to assume that's the only reason that would be happening. I don't know.
Anyways, I want to give one more example of these guys weaponizing their audiences with malicious intent. The super mega drama. I won't get too detailed into this, because there's loads of other videos that do a good job at that.
Okay, I'm not gonna either, because exactly, there's way too much content on this. Probably the best piece of content I saw about this whole thing was from a YouTuber called Unpoetic Justice. I think if you're interested in this controversy, you should go watch that, honestly. That's my take from here. But Rob's argument here is just fucked up. I didn't see anyone even making this argument.
Throughout this drama, they pretty much use the topic of SA to motivate their audience to cancel super mega.
He doesn't show how that happens in this video. And so from what I remember, there's a lot of disputes about the specifics of these stories, but the essay itself isn't one of them. Which again, just go watch this video, you'll learn a thing or two. All right, so anyways, in conclusion, audiences being weaponized, I don't think so. Other than when Vosh did the thing using trans people in his audience as a shield against the fact that he was doing pedo-related activities. That was definitely audience weaponization. The rest of these, I simply disagree. But that's just my opinion. This has been Drama Boy time, silly Drama Boy time. Make sure to go outside, and bye. I need someone to record themselves asking someone in real life, like they're a family member or a friend or a person outside. Yo, did you hear about Xander Hall, Demon Mama, and Denims calling out Shoe on Head for her hypocrisy? Please do it. Please do it and post it online and tag me, and I'll feature you, and I'll send you a, what do I send you? This yogurt cup from this morning that I ate. I'll even wash it if you want.